Times are changing, things keep on changing, and different generations have different opinions about life. Welcome to our YouTube channel. We are the Motokos and we like exploring issues of life and family issues. Today we are going to be simply talking about a topic that will fascinate you, which is what children wish their parents knew that their parents do not know about. Make sure to stay tuned in and comment as much as you like.
Hello, thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to be talking about the things that children wish their parents would know. This is a very important topic. It's a hot topic. You find that many times children and their parents, they clash, and it causes a lot of misunderstandings in the home. And we desire to have peaceful homes everywhere. All right, so let me just start off the ball rolling as I talk about what I came across when I was a school teacher many years ago. There was a time when I was teaching in a private school, private secondary school, and I was teaching children from very expensive homes, you know, the rich. And I remember 3 girls coming to me and they were telling me some of the problems that they were facing. I was so shocked because I didn't know that there could be such a problem. All the 3 children from different families were agreeing that, you know what, our parents do not care about us. They care about showing off with their money. They don't have time with us. One of the girls was actually saying that my parents gave birth to me. 3 days later, they gave me to grandmother. I stay with grandmother. All they do is to fund my education, to give me money. They could do anything to please me and to show off for their ego, you know. They could even buy a car. They buy expensive cell phones for me. But emotionally, they don't support me. So what I'm going to do when I grow up, that's what the girl was saying. When I grow up, I'm going to ask my parents, how much did you spend on me in my upbringing? As soon as I know how much it is, I'm going to return their money. That's the end of our relationship. How painful can that be? Can you imagine? You are running around, you're working very hard, you spend a lot of time and money on your child, but you don't spend time with them. And you think you are doing extremely well, but your child is actually seeing you as an enemy. He's seeing you as a funder. He's seeing you as a sponsor. So that when they grow up, they don't have anything to do with you. They have no relationship with you. Please be careful that maybe the way you are raising your child doesn't have a personal relationship with you. And yourself, you are thinking that, oh yeah, because I'm buying everything for my child, because I'm giving everything to my child, because I'm sending my child to expensive schools, I'm doing well. Hey, children may not be happy with you. So it was an eye-opener for me to see those children from the rich families who actually were not happy with their parents. So we want to explore this. Social media has been ablaze with the stories of children that are angry. They are saying, our parents do not understand us. So let's explore this. We have some young ones in our midst. We have my wife, I have my daughter Prayer, I have my daughter Praise. So we want to explore it. Well, we can even start with Mrs. Motoko or Coach Princess to tell us what are some of the things that were happening when she was growing up, because this thing is not just starting today, it has been there even in the past.
Yes, I would talk about my experience when I was growing up. I was seeing some people having some difficult relationships between parents and their children. Most of the parents, they will be expecting something from their children, and the children, they will be expecting their parents to do or to act in a different way that their parents are acting in. Like in the olden days, people were taught to, maybe a child asked the parent, Mom, how do I do this and that? Then the parent will say, go and ask your aunt, go and ask your uncle. Maybe ask it the father. Then he says, go and ask your uncle. But that time, maybe it was better because people were staying near to each other. But this time, people are staying as far as somebody is staying in UK and the aunties are in Zimbabwe. And there's no way you can expect your child to be given information by somebody in Zimbabwe whom you meet after 5 years or 6 years, and that child will be lacking information that is important for him or for her. So you need to give that information to your child, create that relationship, that friendship, that a child can ask something from you as a parent, and you are able to give her that information because you are the closest person. Even if you give her to your friends, they are not bound, they are not in, she cannot understand your friend better than you, because you know that child better than your friend. So please, parents, let's be bold and put away that old mentality that I cannot speak about sex to my children, I cannot speak this and this to my children. This generation, you are the one who is very close to your children, and your children are expecting almost everything from you. If you give them to other people or just leave them like that, they'll get that information, but the information might be wrong, or that information might be put in a different way which you don't believe in. So give the children what you believe. That's what I think.
Thank you very much, Coach Princess. Let's give it to Sister Praise. What are some of the things that when you look at you growing up, it could be you, it could be your friends, it could be your peers or some of your classmates, what are some of the challenges would you say are there between children and their parents? Some things that children wish their parents would know.
Well, thank you very much for that opportunity. As children, we need to understand that we are living in a time where we cannot have the same mentality as our parents. And due to these differences, there arises some conflicts between our parents and ourselves. You find out that sometimes, our parents, they would like us to wear long things, right? Especially the girl child or even the boy child. There's a certain kind of dressing that is in fashion these days that our parents might not understand. And it is all up to us in how we package ourselves when we talk to our parents, right? I'm not advocating for people to wear short things, but I'm saying that you find out that those differences, including the way a person should dress, including the way you should talk, including the way in which you live your life generally. So you find out that these differences cause a lot of conflict between the parents and the children. But it is important for us as children to think on what our parents would be saying. For example, if your parent tells you not to wear a short thing, you should ask yourself, what's the reasoning behind it? I think it goes back to what my mom was saying, that when children come to you as parents and ask you questions, you should be willing to explain why you're saying certain things should be the way they are. And then the child should also get an opportunity to say why they feel things are supposed to be that way. So I think there's a lot of communication that should take place between a parent and a child. Because of these generational differences, there is a need for a lot of communication to take place.
Thank you, Sister Praise. Sister Prayer, I'm sure you would like to share with the audience what are some of the things do you think are causing friction between children and their parents? Do you feel like parents always understand their children, or there are certain things that cause children to be hurting?
I think I heard from a friend that she didn't really know much about money, and she really wanted to know more about it because her parents were rich, but then she didn't know anything about money, and she wanted to know how to make it and how to understand it more. So I asked her, why don't you ask your parents and all that? Then she says that, you know what, they don't get time for me. They're always busy making money and all day, but they don't teach me how to make it. And I'm like, okay, you could always go on YouTube and be taught by them. And like, no, it's quite different. The society, it might be somebody who's teaching from America, but I'm in Botswana, or somebody who's teaching from Madagascar, but I'm in America. But it's so many different concepts. I want from my parents with the right concept, the people who would teach me from how things are different from then and now, and how am I supposed to carry myself. And then to add on what to what Sister Praise was saying, it's not only about long and short things, it's also about trousers. You know, like there's some things that we know that parents sometimes still stick to the thing of the past, that girls don't wear trousers. But now it's something that is unusual when you tell your mates that no, I can't wear trousers, guys. It's not allowed at all. But you know, you try to be more in fashion, you try to be like with your peers and understand them more, to look like, you know, to group in, to fit in more, you know, like you want to wear those trousers. So I see that you need to communicate with your parents and tell them, you know what, daddy, mama, wearing trousers nowadays is not anything bad, and there's nothing wrong with it. So once you build up the communication, spend time with your children. That time you say that you have time, or the time that you say you're busy. When you say you're busy, you mean that thing is not important to you, or that thing does not really matter to you. Because if it matters to you, you create time for it. Just like you create time for work because it's important to you. Whatever is important to you, you create time for it. So create time for your kids. Always make sure that whatever you learn, you give it to them as well. Whatever you scroll on Facebook and see that there's a health issue, you tell your children, so that there's more communication, bonding. Amen. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Let's hear Sister Praise. I know she wants to add something there.
Okay, I would also like to talk about that there's this issue that most teenagers of this age and most adolescents or most young people wish that they had a relationship with their parents. Like they wish they could tell them certain things that they cannot tell them, but they can only share them with their friends. So getting back to that, it means that again, as a parent, you should be willing to be a bit flexible and allow your child to talk to you about certain issues of life. Because the moment you're too strict and you don't allow them to express themselves in your presence, the only help they're going to get is from their friends. And you don't know the kind of friends that they're hanging out with. So it is important for you to be like your child's best friend. Try to get as much as close to them, try to understand them, and try to know where they are coming from. Sometimes parents wonder why teenagers like hanging out in groups of friends. It's because they are longing for that friendship. They are longing for somebody who can understand them. They are longing for someone who can listen to them and hear their perspective without just jumping in and judging them and telling them, you children of these days, you're like this, you're like that. When we grew up, we didn't do that, we did this. They are so tired of hearing that. So they just want you to just listen, and then you comment with a loving heart and tell them, look, my daughter, I'm hearing what you're saying, but this is what I think should be done, considering the fact that this is how we grew up. But also looking at your aspect, looking at how you're growing up these days, I think if you do this, it will help you. So I think building that relationship, having a kind of like a friendship spirit between your child and yourself, it will help you to become really close and prevent these problems that come along with not having a relationship with your child, like drug abuse. You don't even know where it started because you didn't have that time to talk to your child. You are only now seeing the results of what your child was doing all along.
Thank you so much. I think there is the issue of communication is rising a lot, and there is the issue of having an ongoing relationship between the parent and the children. So at the end of the day, what I would say is it's important for us as parents to realize that the same way we try to relate with others in the workplace, you understand certain people with different qualities and different characteristics, but when you get home, you want to be a lion or lioness. Why don't you understand your children? One mistake that I used to make is I would say to my second child, why are you not like the first child? I would say to the third child, why are you not like this one? Everybody is different. Everybody has their own personality. Nobody wants to be compared to anyone. Would you like it if your child would compare you to the father next door? Would you like it if your child would compare you to the mother next door? Nobody wants to be compared. You are unique. So at the end of the day, let's respect our children. I'm not saying let's smile when they are making wrong steps, but what I'm saying is it's important for you to respect your child. Your child should know that you honor them, you respect them, and you love them. Create time. How many times do you are at home or you are somewhere and you're always talking about yourself? Talking about yourself. Hey, I used to have a big problem with that. I'll just be talking about how my day was frustrating, how my day was excellent, how I'm enjoying it all. And then my children are just listening. Okay. They are done. It's quiet. What about asking your children how was school today? With the ear to listen. Indeed, you want to listen. You know, there is a way we greet each other generally. You say, how are you? How was your night? And you're already going. Why did you ask how was your night? Did you really intend to get a response, or you were just asking, how are you, my daughter? How are you, my son? How are you, my wife? How are you, my husband? Are you okay? How was your day? Today you are not smiling. You should know each other. There must be that close proximity. Know each other, understand each other. And it comes from listening. And parents, we need to desist from this bad habit of saying, during our days, we were doing this. During our time, that was you. I am not you. I'm your child. I'm myself. And you are talking like we will talk about, so it's so nice to talk about the past and feel like you are the best thing that ever happened. Let me tell you, your child is your inheritance. They are going to be better than you, isn't it? You expect them to be better than you. Listen to them. Know what they desire. What is their vision? Cultivate what they desire. Not for you to always tell them about the past. The past is good, but it can't be every day. And I think also another mistake that I learned, which myself and my wife were doing, which was really, really bad, and we didn't know it was hurting some of our children, is the idea of trying to talk to your children all the time. Like, if I want to correct praise, and it's something very personal, then I will correct her in front of the other children. If you respect your child, the same way you don't want to be told in public, you must be able to say, Praise, can I see you? You take her to a private room, you talk to her. Even if it means my wife and Praise, we go there, we talk, the other children will not know about it. If you hear a good parent talking and reprimanding a child in front of others, it's nothing too serious. It's something that the other children can learn. You cannot reprimand your child in front of their friends. That's even worse. You can't reprimand them in front of the other children. Respect your children. Honor your children. Love your children. Let them know, so that even the day you are beating them or the day you are correcting them harshly, they will understand, no, she's being harsh today, but I know she cares about me. Don't have that attitude of every day, you are just reprimanding and showing as though you are the best thing that ever happened. I think as parents, we need the grace of God to help us.
Okay, we are not only nailing it on the parents. We as young people, we are playing a role in these conflicts.
Right.
So you need to know that there's a difference between you and your parents. There is that difference because God has placed them to be your authority, so you need to respect them. If they tell you that don't do this, if you want to ask, you should ask respectively that Dad, Mom, why do you think I shouldn't do this? From a genuine heart. Don't try to be aggressive. Don't try to act as if you are the person who knows everything, as if you are perfect, just because you now know, we are called the .com generation. We know these technologies and, we think we are advanced. But with all that advancement that we have, we need to understand that our parents are our authorities, and we need to respect them. We need to be obedient. Obedience is not easy, but we need to be willing to listen to our parents, even when it's not easy. But you need to understand that your parents have a good reason for what they're telling you to do. There's always a good reason for them to tell you that, because you will realize that as you grow up, you start to appreciate these things. And you try to, and now you'll be understanding why they did things the way they did. You might not understand it now, but you need to respect them and know that your parent is the best, is your best friend, and is the only person who truly wants the best for you. And so you should always keep that in your mind, that they're not trying to kill you when they tell you to stay home and not go at night out with your friends. Most young people nowadays, they are dying in car accidents after spending all nights drinking and all that. So when your parents warn you and tell you to do certain things, they would be knowing they've passed through these stages. They know these things. They know that all things pass away. So if they tell you, focus on your schoolwork, don't enter into relationships, they know what they're talking about. They know that these things, they're stressful. They can even give you a heart attack. So let's learn to respect and honor our parents. because that is the only way that will make it in life.
Thank you very much. Let's hear the last points from Sister Prayer, if she has something, and of course from Coach Princess as we conclude.
Okay, so we also have the point of social media. Let's say, for some people, it's not really like they live with their parents. Let's say they're further away, your parent is somewhere else, and you're studying maybe in Ukraine, or you're studying maybe in Tokyo or somewhere there, and you have that distance, and you can't really ask them questions like, Mama, what do I do here? My parents invited me to a party late at midnight. What should I do? What should I say? How to act and all that. Like Sister Praise has been saying, to be able to ask that, you have to reduce your pride and know that you need to know, you need to understand some things from your parents, okay? And now that you have reduced your pride, or now you have reduced your ego, you want to ask your parents, but there's no that communication, because your parents somehow, they don't know how to use social media, because it's nothing new that your parents don't know social media or they don't understand it. We can go there and visit them and tell them, Mama, this is how you use it, blah 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 blah. And when you go back to where you're studying, you can still talk to her and ask her questions through that social media that you taught her. But then there's this other problem that, let's say when you grew up, your mom did not treat you well, and she didn't and you didn't like, let's say you didn't really understand each other, not like she didn't treat you well, but you don't really understand each other, and so you decided that, I'll live my own life and I don't care about her. So then you need to go there and ask for forgiveness. You guys cannot stay angry at each other forever, because the day that you hear that he or she is gone, you will be sad for the rest of your life. So just go and forgive her. Make sure you bond with each other so that you can finally ask each other questions. Maybe it's too late for you to bond, but you can still do something. Maybe you think that it's too late to bond, but it's never too late. You can still do something. Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the things that I learned when I was growing, at teenage level, there are some challenges that comes on a child. She or he will be thinking that I'm mature, I can do things by myself, and by that decision I was there, and I know that I was acting like that. I'm mature now, I'm grown up, I can do things by myself. Why would I be told do this and that by my parents? Because I know what to do. But really, from the things that I learned, if my parents had not put some restrictions on my life, I should be somewhere crying or being dead already, because of the things that I was enjoying to be in. Like, I would enjoy to be among the people who be playing some guitars, and those guitars, maybe they will be played by small young boys. And because I liked the music, I wanted to be in the midst of those people, and I didn't think there's any harm to be around those boys who will be playing their banjos and their guitars, whatever. I didn't see anything wrong, and I was saying, I'm mature. I know when I go there, I will just listen to the music. But my mom was looking further. After playing the guitars, what will happen? So some children will be having a short sight. They are looking for things that are just surrounding them at that moment, and things that it will end on the surrounding. But your parents, they've grown up and see things happening, so they know the things before they happen. They happen before things happen. They know that this will end into this and that, and they will be. It will be true that those things, they will end like that. So I would encourage children that if you feel that you are mature, you can even advise your parents, because you feel like you are mature now. You tell them, no, don't do this. I think this and that. Now we have been letting this and that. There's nothing wrong about sharing what you have learned or your new experiences, but you should know also how to package it very well so that it will be accepted. That level of respect will make your parents to accept the new things that you have learned. They are also learning from you, and you are learning from them. So we should continue to be bound with communication and sharing in the right way. Because there are many children right now of my age who are crying because they didn't listen to their parents. When their parents were telling them, don't do this, they will escape. But right now, they are in mud. It's only that I managed to obey my parents when they were telling me not to go around with those people who were playing guitars. That saved my life. And now I'm grateful because I know if it was not them, I was not going to be controllable. I was not going to get the right character for me to achieve what I have at the moment.
Thank you very much, Coach Princess. Thank you, Sister Prayer. Thank you, Sister Praise. And of course, thank you to the cameraman doing an excellent job. So the last words are that charity begins at home. Love begins at home. Children, let's listen to our parents. Let us learn to follow. You don't become a great leader without being a great follower. And also to our parents, we are saying, love your children. Have a personal relationship with each of your children. Your children are your inheritance. If you want your children to be good advisors to you in future, if you want your children to take good care of you and fight for you and defend you and provide for you where possible, then today is the day for you to invest in your children. Not just money, but emotions and good advice and love. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.